Window World, the official windows of the Kansas City Chiefs, presents Kevin Keatsman Has Issues online at windowskansascity.com.
I'm just not sure how many people allowed a noon kickoff on a Saturday for the first preseason NFL game for the Kansas City Chiefs to really be the focus or the focal point of your Saturday. So we are here to recap for you some of the things that happened in the Chiefs-Bears game on Saturday. The Chiefs lost the game. Does not matter one bit, as we all know, in the preseason. But Saturday at noon was a weird start time for a preseason football game, so I'm assuming a lot of folks had activities and things they were doing and maybe didn't see the game like you might normally see it if it were on a Friday evening and you're at home or something like that. So I've got a few little bullet points here and things that I took away from this game that are exciting for me. And I know it is only one preseason football game, but I like the fact that Patrick Mahomes went out there, took 11 snaps. Chiefs went 72 yards, scored a touchdown. He threw it to Blake Bell. They made it look easy. They rolled right over the Bears with the starting offense. It was a terrific drive in a time where most teams with set quarterbacks and set offensive stars like Travis Kelce are not even competing. They don't even go out and play. I think the Chiefs kind of need to do this. This is a little bit of a rebuild year for the Chiefs offense. It's a retool year is the best way to say it. The receiving core is different. The line is pretty much in its second year together now after being reformed last year, but the risk of injury just isn't that high if you play smart. We know Zach Wilson got hurt for the Jets this weekend, scrambling, diving, trying to make a play. There really wasn't much threat that Mahomes was going to do that. He scrambled out of the pocket one time and threw the ball out of that, didn't try to run for the marker or anything silly like that. It is a danger. It is a risk, but I think the reward, the gain for getting a few snaps in the preseason is certainly there. And Mahomes said going into the first week of the preseason, look, I want to get hit. I don't want to go out there the first game of the year against the Arizona Cardinals and get hit and not remember what that was like. I want some live action, get me hit a couple times, and it's good. He got popped after he threw a ball, good clean hit, got right back up. Life is good. He didn't get hurt. And, the bottom line is this. If you're going to play a long schedule anyway, 17 games, you're never going to play an entire career without getting hurt and missing big periods of time. You hope every year going in that this isn't the year where Mahomes gets some sort of an injury and is out for the season or misses 5, 6, 7 games, something like that. But it is unavoidable. It's football. He's going to get hurt at some point. And I really like the fact that they came out, they communicated, they went through the regular game preparation, game planning. Here we go. We've got these plays. It was not, in my estimation, a vanilla offensive look. There were no trick plays or anything like that, but they, the first play, they got the ball to the fullback, then they threw to the tight end. They were moving it around. I like what the Chiefs did. I felt really good about the first team offense going out there. Patrick Mahomes getting hit, playing well. He went 6 out of 7 on the drive for 60 yards and a touchdown. And we, the fans, furthermore, I think we kind of deserve it. I think with the money that you pay to buy season tickets or the time you invest into being a fan of your NFL team, if they're going to play preseason games, I think these teams ought to trot their guys out there for a few snaps. Now, you won't see Aaron Rodgers. The Rams aren't going to, famously, he says, over my dead body is my starting quarterback going. Matt Stafford's not going to take a snap in the preseason. It's not going to happen. And some coaches are firm on that. Andy Reid is a little bit more old school and put his guy out there. I don't know what it means for the remaining couple of games for Mahomes and what kind of action he will see. I've got no problem with him playing the first series of each game and seeing what they have. As long as he knows going in, be careful, don't do something stupid. The Chiefs did this despite poor field conditions at Soldier Field. If you didn't see the game, the field was all chewed up. There were basically like divots on a golf course on the turf, but the NFL ruled it playable. It was a firm track, so there was nothing. It wasn't some sloppy, injury-riddled thing, and there weren't potholes, okay, where there was missing sod. They'd kind of filled it in and did some things. They had an Elton John concert at Soldier Field 8 days before the Chiefs and Bears, and it did a lot of damage to the field at Soldier Field. So they did play with a poor field. A lot of people around the NFL talking about that. The Bears really wouldn't comment on it much. The Chiefs did. Andy Reid and Justin Reid both commented about the field and didn't care for it very much. Andy Reid said it was a little bit better than his high school field, but not much. He said, so they got out there and relatively injury-free, and the Chiefs lost the game, but nobody cares. It was pretty obvious that the Chiefs were playing the Bears in a regular game on Saturday. They were about to win a game 34-10 or something of that nature. They were just going to blow the Bears off the field. It looked like it was going to be easy. Also in the game, Justin Reed, the Chiefs' new safety, the replacement for Tyrann Mathieu, played at a high level, made a couple of good tackles right there in the first defensive series for the Chiefs. Chris Jones looked explosive in the game very early on, so we like those signs on the defensive side of the ball. But Reed's highlight was at the end of the second quarter when the Chiefs scored a touchdown just before the half. Andy Reid sent the safety Reed out on the field to kick the point after. And he nailed it right down the middle, and they celebrated. And this is the ultimate team-building stuff. I mean, guys on special teams get a kick out of it. They know Reed's a stud. He's got a $35 million contract. He's a highly paid veteran player. He's a really big part of the Chiefs' defense. This is the kind of thing that brings teams together. It does. It's hard to explain what it means, but it's something that you basically have offense, defense, and special teams on a football team. And sometimes they get a little territorial and can be sort of their own group, their own clique, even by position that happens. But something like this, everybody on the roster took note and was happy for him and had fun with this. And it's the head coach saying, listen, camp's no fun. Preseason's no good. It's a grind. We're looking forward to the regular season games, but this is fun. This is what we do. And I loved it. I think it's great. Reed, the player, said after the game, he was asked about kicking the point after and nailing it right down the middle. He said, the backup kicker position is all locked up. You guys can put that one to bed. He says, I've got that one. So he's having fun with being the backup kicker. We talked last week about the 60-yarder that he hit in camp. That's pretty amazing. They've got a safety that in an emergency situation can go out there and kick the ball into the end zone on a kickoff or make a field goal if he had to. So we like that. Sky Moore on the offensive side, the receiver, 3 targets, 3 catches. He made a nifty catch on one of the plays, and he looks like he's got some skills that the Chiefs are going to be able to use. It looks like the Chiefs have a lot of depth at receiver. Justin Watson had a big day, 5 catches, 45 yards. You may not have heard of him, but he's fast. He's a big target, and while he's not a wildly heralded player, he's turning heads in camp. The Chiefs wanted to see a lot of him in this game. They targeted him a lot, and he did not disappoint. The Chiefs clearly have tremendous depth at wide receiver. We know so many receivers left this offseason, and I think the depth that they brought in, I just don't think I think they're terrific at this position. I love having depth at receiver. And we've got a couple of guys that are proven to be dudes that can go out and play at a really high level in Juju Smith-Schuster and MVS, Valdez-Scantling. He's a terrific player. So we know what they've got top shelf. Maybe not quite Tyreek Hill, but the combination of the two is certainly better than anything Mahomes has had. And now you fill it in with Sky Moore, who looks like he can work out of the backfield, become a very versatile player. McCole Hardman is serviceable. Who's going to be behind that? Is it Justin Watson? Pretty interesting room there. Pretty interesting group of players. The Chiefs are very deep. They're clearly very deep at wide receiver. They threw numbers at this in the offseason, and how it all shakes out will be pretty interesting to see who's on the opening day roster for the Chiefs. The other player that touched the ball 3 times, he had 2 rushes and 1 catch and didn't really necessarily turn heads, except he played very early and they got him the heck out of there, which is the ultimate compliment for any preseason player, especially if you're a new guy on the team. If you're new, if you're a rookie, and they play you with the first team and get you out of the game, what are they saying? What are they saying about you and about what your role is going to be with that team? You may not have heard or thought much about a player named Isaiah Pacheco. He's a 7th round pick out of Rutgers. He's a running back. Some people are comparing him a little bit to Kareem Hunt, although they believe his burst, his speed, after he gets into the open, is greater than Kareem Hunt's. I don't see the power of Kareem Hunt in him, but I hear the comparisons. And the Chiefs very quickly believe, well, and here, this is chicken or egg, okay? They believe and know that they have a player they're going to use and use a lot. Does he pass Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Does he become the number 1 option at running back? I don't know, but they treated him basically the same. They got him in the game early and got him out, and that was it. Like, these are 1 and 2. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Isaiah Pacheco are our best running backs. The question is, with Pacheco, is this. Is he turning heads, flying up the depth chart, and becoming basically 1A, 1 or 1A, 1B? Is he becoming a starter because they're so bad at this position? That's the question. Or is he flying up because he's really, really good? Look, it's not unheard of or unusual to find a really good running back in the 7th round. It's not. I haven't looked it up. There's a reason he went in the 7th round. It certainly isn't his speed. It's probably his size. There's something in his game. He only had 650 yards rushing or something at Rutgers last year. So he wasn't some breakout player that, rushed for 2,000 yards and wow, he's a National Player of the Year candidate or something like that. That's not what he was. But this is what good scouting and good drafting is. You go find players in the 7th round that play for you and maybe play for you immediately. This young man is going to play for the Chiefs a significant role, and he played with the starting offense, and they got him out of the game. Again, just 2 catches, I think, for 6 yards, or 2 rushes for 6 yards, and a catch for 5. But we see where he's playing and who he's playing with, and I think it's very interesting that the Chiefs think they found somebody that is going to be better than some of the veterans they have on the roster, McKinnon or Jones or some of these other running backs. Pacheco has gone up the chart and around them out of nowhere. Now, you always like your football team getting younger. There are other elements to this. Younger players cost less, right? Younger players are younger players. They're generally healthier, generally can take more of a beating, generally less injured. So there's a lot of reasons you want a rookie to fly up your chart like this, but the Chiefs are treating him with great respect here and saying, you're getting on the field, you're getting your touches, and you're getting out of there. We're not worried about you learning the offense or, we got to, get you 10 touches every preseason game so you're ready to go at the start of the season. They are treating Isaiah Pacheco like he is a seasoned veteran, and I like that. The flack coming out of the game, as I mentioned, was about the field. The secondary flack coming out of the game, of course, is about the wife of Patrick Mahomes. She's no longer the fiance, she's now the wife. So I'll refer to her as the wife, and she just can't stay off social media. So she goes on social over the weekend, and she's pregnant. She makes some comment that she, to be comfortable this year, may just decide to wear pajamas to every game. And immediately just gets roasted by people on social media that are like, just stay away from the games and stop posting. There is a certain percentage of Chiefs fans, and most of these people are younger, I would guess in their 20s, maybe teenagers, 20s, 20-somethings. There's a large number of these people that believe she is bad luck for the team. Now, I think her and Jackson were a distraction last year. He is said to have moved to L.A. Maybe he won't be around. But her out there social media tweeting and posting, hey, I'm going to wear jammies to the game and this and that, already in the preseason looking for attention is just no good. I don't care for her, so I'm with the fans. But I don't think she's bad luck. I don't think it's a jinx that if she's at the game or if she wears pajamas, the Chiefs are going to lose. I don't believe in things like that, but it's remarkable. We were 1 preseason game in, and there are national websites writing about Chiefs fans roasting the wife of Patrick Mahomes. And she has made public comments that there's bullying in social media, that it's wrong, that we should treat everybody sweet and swell and nice and all these things. And those are really nice things to say, but it isn't the world we live in. And it doesn't appear, the only reason I bring this up is it just doesn't appear this offseason she's changed at all. Having a second kid isn't changing anything. She's going to go out there and she's going to post stuff and she's going to get roasted and she's going to complain that people are mean. Taylor Swift went through this phase. Remember the singer Taylor Swift? From the age of about 19 to 25 or 27, that's all she did was complain that people were bullies, they were mean, they commented she couldn't sing. She's grown up. She doesn't comment on such things anymore. She still can't sing all that great live, but the studio makes her pretty good. She's a wonderfully talented songwriter. I'm not taking anything away from her talent. She just makes gazillions of dollars, but she's learned to deal with the people that are haters. And I don't know how old you have to be, and I don't know when you reach that point. It seemed to me being pregnant with baby number 2 would be a good time to say, I'm putting this thing down. Chiefs fans, this isn't all that important. Let's just live our life with our hundreds of millions of dollars, raise our family. I don't need the attention. But newsflash, the wife ain't there yet. She's not, because she went out and, of course, did her thing in social media around this football game. KKHI is presented by Buck Roofing and Construction. Ron Buck is a man of great integrity. He gets up really early. Like, this dude gets up at like 4 a.m. and starts sending his crews out to the work sites. And he's something else. I mean, he is a hands-on owner of he's got multiple crews. I mean, this is a really growing company, but he's hands-on and does it all himself and makes sure that it runs smoothly for you when it's time for your project. If you'd like to get a free roof inspection, you can always call 384-2680. They'll schedule that appointment and come take a look at your roof absolutely free. Remember to keep that number for emergencies 24/7. You never know when you may have a problem. There's rain coming this week. You could see some ceiling spots or get a little water in if we get some heavy storms here. Just know that you could sleep well knowing Buck Roofing fixed the roof over your head. Jeremy Fry and his team at Fry Orthodontics now with 13 locations in the area as they've just opened the new office in Lawrence. Fry Orthodontics says back to school is the time. Get them into school and get them into Fry Orthodontics. Get that beautiful smile for life. It really does matter with your youngster to provide them with straight teeth, lack of a better term, to have a confidence in the smile, in the way you project, not just in school as you get into your high school years, but throughout college or trade school or wherever you're going next, and then the career you set out in. It gives a young person real confidence. It's great for adults too. Remember, Invisalign is the same price as braces, and they now save you a lot of time with many of the exams being video exams. Log on to fryorthodontics.com for your first appointment. It's always free. Fry Orthodontics, where your smile is just the start. The Bluemont Hotel in Manhattan for K-State games this fall? Yeah. Wildcats got a whole bunch of home games slated and ready to go. Going to make a weekend of it in Manhattan? Stay at the Bluemont Hotel, a unique hotel experience, locally owned and operated by K-Staters, not a sterile, impersonal franchise place. Nope, the Bluemont Hotel is different. They even have a great restaurant and indoor entertainment center there called Goolsby's. Denzel Goolsby is the proprietor. He's a former team captain of the Wildcats, and you're going to have fun with the indoor entertainment that they have there. Duck pin bowling, golf simulators, 30 beer taps, pour your own on the wall. It's pretty cool. It's not Dave & Buster's Chaos. That's not what this is. It's a relaxing place where you can do something fun while you get an appetizer or a sandwich, have a couple of beers off the wall with your friends, take the kids if you want. It's a lot of fun. Goolsby's Restaurant and Indoor Entertainment Center, part of the Bluemont Hotel in Manhattan. Okay, on Saturday, I put the patron post out. I like writing the patron post, and I thought this was a really good one. There's a really nice, I wrote extensively about Len Dawson. And we'll talk more about Len Dawson on a future podcast, but it's one of my favorite patron posts that I've written. If you want to become a patron, in the next few days, you won't immediately get the post. You get all the podcasts unlocked, so you can hear all the patron podcasts that are already done. You can hear all of those in the library, but the post gets sent via it just goes to your inbox every Saturday. So a couple of people signed up over the weekend, and then I just forwarded the post to them. So if you sign up this week, I will forward you the patron post from Saturday and my thoughts about Len Dawson. There's some pretty cool inside stories of Len, knowing him so well through the years. He's in hospice care, and it's a good read. It's a good read. And if you become a patron this week, I'll see that you became a patron. I'll get your email address, and I'll just forward you the post after you sign up. But on the patron post, I wrote a little bit about the Royals and was excited about Sunday's game against the Dodgers. The Dodgers are 43 games over 500. They've gone 40 straight games without a shutout. They had a 12-game winning streak. They've won all of those games by multiple runs. None of those were one-run victories. Like, the Dodgers are an historic juggernaut team. And I said, look at this dude pitching for the Dodgers. We're writing about this in the post on Saturday. I said, Tyler Anderson is starting for the Dodgers on Saturday. He is 13-1 with a 2.62 earned run average or something. Tyler Anderson, 13-1 going up against the lowly Royals, right? I said, but watch out. Brady Singer is pitching for the Royals, and here's exactly what I wrote in the post. Singer has had some eye-popping starts in the past month. This could be a wicked pitcher's duel. Well, Brady Singer went out Sunday, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 7 strikeouts against the best team in baseball, not even close. They've been knocking the cover off the ball. The Royals win Vinny Pasquantino had 3 hits and another home run. They scored 3 runs against Tyler Anderson, which is a big deal, and they beat the Dodgers. It is 1 game out of 162. It's all these things. But to a man, Royals players were saying after this series, we found out who we can be. They played a really good game on Friday night, a scoreless game into the 7th inning. Very well pitched by both sides. The Dodgers just pitched their brains out. They're so good. Their pitchers are so good. They're so good at everything. And then the Royals got bombed on Saturday. They got beaten handily. Brad Keller got knocked all over the yard. Nicky Lopez wound up pitching an inning, and the Royals lost 13-3. But they come back on Sunday, and Brady Singer goes out, and he is now in his last 5 starts, which is what I was referencing the last month or so, has given up only 6 runs in those 5 starts, and his stuff is electric. I mean, you watch him in these outings over the last month, and you're thinking Cy Young somewhere down the road. You're thinking this is a Cy Young Award winner. What his ball does when he throws it, you just can't teach. It's velocity, it's movement, it's location. He's getting there. He showed this instantly. When he first started 3 years ago, was it 2020 season he came up? When he first came up, very early, 2nd or 3rd start, something very early on, he took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. You're like, wow, look at this stuff. Then he bounced it around, and it wasn't good, and he wasn't consistent. We thought, here's another Royal starter that has all this stuff, and nothing's coming of it. This is a real stretch. This is 6 runs in the last 5 starts, and he has just flat looked unhittable when he's out there. It is very exciting to think they may have a stud. If you're going to be a great team, if you want a challenge to win a division, you got to have a stud. You got to have a starting pitcher that when you've lost 3 or 4 in a row, now it's his turn, and that losing streak is over. But he's going to go out there, and he's going to go 6 or 7 innings, give up 0 or 1 runs almost every time, and that's who that person is. And right now, that's who Brady Singer is, and that was a wicked great performance against the Dodgers, and I just couldn't be happier. That I tried to talk a couple of my buddies into going. I tried to talk Jessica into going. I wanted to go watch these 2 pitchers duel on Sunday, and people have given up on the Royals. They had a nice crowd, 18,000. They had good crowds on Friday and Saturday night. They had promotional events. But it's really hard as you're in August and the Royals are out of it to talk somebody into being interested in the Royals or excited to go to a game or whatever. It's a tricky thing. I understand. Football's here and seasons are changing, and the Royals blew their season early on. But this team over the last almost 60 games, the Royals are over 500. And they're transitioning to these young players, and I find them to be an interesting baseball team right now. I'm not going to make some projection about next year or the future and say, hey, they're arriving. But what I am noticing is there are some surprises that are good. This Pasquantino thing, if he's real, we had Danny Klingskin on a Patron podcast last week, and we were talking about Prado, the first baseman / outfielder, and Pasquantino. And I said, they both look like they can play, and I think Prado's a sure thing. And he said he thinks Pasquantino's more of a sure thing than Prado. I'm like, well, there you go. You've got Witt Jr., Melendez, Prado, and Pasquantino. You got 4 rookie stars now that are going to be in your lineup for the next 7 years, and you're seeing a couple pitchers emerge. You can work with that. That's something you can work with. And you just don't need the 35-year-old Carlos Santana's on your roster. Play the young players, and as they are, there's an energy to what the Royals are doing. And there's a growing belief that they're good enough. That's where it starts. Whether there's a payoff, I don't know. This clearly looks like a core of players that within a year or two can at least be a 500 team. And right now, a 500 team in this division, you're alive right now. You're playing to win the division. You're only 3 games back or whatever, 2.5 games back. You're right there if you're a 500 team. The Royals blew their season early. Since then, they've been okay. They've done a nice job. A big shout out to my friend, Dr. Bill Bush at North Kansas City Dental for being a sponsor of KKHI. He's an award-winning dentist. He speaks all over the country, and they do great things for underprivileged kids around the country with Team Smiles. It's really cool. He works with Dustin Colquitt. They do these events, and they get dentists to all come in for the day and do all the work for free. He's just terrific. This should be your dentist. You will like him. He's a good one. He's like us. nkcdental.com or call 816-471-2700. 2911 for Dr. Bill Bush. 360 Document Solutions, online at 360documentsolutions.com. Getting customer satisfaction is job one for Mark and his team at 360. They want to make you happy and more profitable. That's what makes them run. There you go. So call 360 Documents, 913-745-5344, and have them in for a no-cost consultation, complimentary analysis of everything you're doing. Maybe they can save you some money and make you a little more productive. Online at 360documentsolutions.com. And, of course, my good friend Tim Cross over at Cross Kitchens KC. These folks are awesome. Nice little family-owned remodeling company. They do great work. They do most of their kitchen jobs in 2 weeks or less. Whether you're just looking to replace your countertops or redo your floors, or whether you want to bust everything out and start over, Cross Kitchens can do it. And they will keep their eye on your project. You don't get kicked to the back. There are no delays. When they start, they finish. That's important. Call Tim and get a free consultation, 816-898-7047, online at crosskitchenskc.com. Well, I saw a story at Outkick about my high school, Shawnee Mission North. They say in their headline, Kansas City High School builds insane weight room. And they are right, folks. My high school, let me give you a little background. I'm disappointed in my high school. I'm really disappointed in the district, Shawnee Mission School District, that they've gone woke. They have changed the name of the Shawnee Mission North Indians to the Shawnee Mission North Bison, which I think is even more offensive to Native Americans. I've discussed this at great length on this podcast. We slaughtered 30 million bison, and when we did that, we basically destroyed the Native Americans, the indigenous people. They actually shrunk an inch in size and lost an average of 20 pounds when we killed off the buffalo. We decimated them, the bison. And so now Shawnee Mission North is reminding every indigenous person about what we did to the bison in this country and destroyed them by naming this school the Bison, which is ridiculous. Anyway, I digress. This will be 100 years at Shawnee Mission North. They're celebrating and transitioning the mascot. And for community pride, they have built a $4.6 million weight room for the football team that has won 2 games the past 3 years. Outkick points out that Shawnee Mission North Indians lost a game 55-0, 49-0, and 50-0. So by building a nearly $5 million weight room, which is a joke, okay, by building it, they've drawn attention to the fact that despite the kids going out and trying and practicing hard and playing hard, they stink at an epic level and just get pounded. Now they're drawing attention to that. That ain't good for youth sports. There's nothing good about this. I served on a board for many years, a scholarship board at Shawnee Mission North. We would raise money, couple $1,000 at a time, so we could dole out $500 scholarships to athletes at North. Some would run track, to go to small schools, and we'd put this money in their pocket to help them pay for, to go play sports where they're only getting a quarter of a scholarship or a half scholarship or something like that. And we felt really great whenever we had like 8 kids we could give $1,000 to go off to college. We felt great. I mean, we worked hard on this board to raise money in really old-fashioned ways to try to help kids get educated and have an opportunity to further their education. This is what we did. And I know I've upset some of my friends. I'm close to some people that love Shawnee Mission North, that it's just part of who and what they are, and they just adore it, and I get it. I love my high school too. But it just seems backbreaking for all these people. I played in the Shawnee Mission North Booster Club golf tournament earlier this year. That was fun. It raised some money. I enjoyed doing it. I'm not complaining about any of this. But boy, every time you go out and you try to do something, you think, well, we're going to do something to help these kids, to do something nice. These crazy loons on the left tax your ass off to the tune of $5 million and build a weight room they don't need. How many kids at Shawnee Mission North that don't have the money to go to trade school after they graduate, or to college, or to junior college, could have used that money to gain a skill, gain a trade, get a degree, and make more of their life? What in the world are these educators thinking? Shawnee Mission North? This isn't let me explain something, because it gets teased. Okay, it's part of Johnson County, whatever. They call Johnson County the Golden Ghetto. Well, Shawnee Mission North is the ghetto of Johnson County. I'm just going to tell you, that's what it is. It is a very diverse school with some kids that have been in families or lived in the area for a long time that do well. Not your little, private school rich kids at Pembroke. That's not what I'm talking about. But there's some families that do well, and there are others from broken homes, incredible poverty, crime, drugs, you name it. This school is hard work for the people that work there. It is difficult to have this much diversity. To have so many kids that are from such broken homes and so poor, mixed in with some kids who have some privilege or some money or whatever. It is a complicated high school, I can assure you. Not that all schools aren't complicated, because they are. They are. But Shawnee Mission North is uniquely complicated. And there is a feeling around the school that a lot of these kids are falling between the gaps and aren't getting off to trade school or college or whatever because they don't have the money or the guidance or the push from home or whatever it may be. And so your idea in the Shawnee Mission School District is to tax the taxpayers $5 million to build a weight room? Makes me sick. It's just so, I just can't believe so many people in education in America today are just out of the education business. They're into something else. They're into bells and whistles, or they're into teaching you this thing in their classroom that's not in the book. It's not in the curriculum anywhere, but I'm going to teach you. We're going to do the white privilege dance here. If your parents are white, take 2 steps forward. Oh, turn around and look. Look at the people behind you. I mean, it's just absurd what's going on with these educators and these people. They make very poor decisions. And this is another one. Is it a beautiful weight room? Yes. Is there community pride in a weight room? What? I don't even understand that. So like the people of Mission are proud that the high school just spent $5 million on a weight room? I mean, I'd be for putting it into teacher salaries, for crying out loud. There's a lot of ways I could spend that money. Did they need new weights? Okay, great. I got to think, let's put some new tile down. If we need to do a little room addition here or expand it out, $300,000 maybe would probably do a lot for a high school workout facility or weight room. I would think you could do a lot with that. $5 million? My God, where are we going wrong with these kids? We're failing a lot of kids in this country. We truly are. In France, the climate freaks are failing a lot of people. There's a drought in Europe, and the climate freaks have taken to the golf courses. So they're rationing water, but they've exempted golf courses in France. So the golf courses keep watering while you at home can only, well, they're French, so they don't care. You can only shower or bathe, like every other day, but they don't care because they only do it once a week anyway. Aren't the French kind of smelly and dirty? They don't like to shower. That's not their thing. So it shouldn't be that hard to ration water, but the climate freaks are really mad that the golf courses are still watering the golf course. So what do you think these freaks did? Did they protest? Did they draw attention to anything? No, they've gone out and bought up all the saccrete they can get and the wheelbarrows, and they're making their own concrete all over the country. And in the middle of the night, they're putting concrete in the golf holes. Thus, by morning, it's set. You can't play. You can't even get the pin out. Course closed. They're filling golf holes all over France with concrete in the middle of the night. They're jumping onto golf courses illegally, trespassing and doing this. Climate freaks. I'll give them an A for creativity. But that's a real crime. Don't take golf away from people. That's when I say, live your life, be what you're about. It's great that you're a climate freak, but don't hurt others. Don't take a round of golf away from somebody else. Somewhere there's a 78-year-old dude that's in declining health, maybe the beginning stages of cancer, only has a year to live, and wants to play 5 or 10 more rounds of golf before he goes. And you're doing this? Think about your actions a little bit. I mean, that's just mean. That's just mean. Don't hurt other people. Draw attention to your cause. Be a climate freak. Scream to the mountaintop. But don't hurt other people. Don't keep those nice Frenchmen from playing golf. And ladies, I'm sure. But I do give them an A for creativity. Putting concrete in the golf hole will stop golf because they don't have 18 more pins. They can cut holes on other parts of the green, but they can't put a pin in it. I guess they could just cut the hole and say, we don't have any flags today. Go play. Climate freaks. Wow. Donald Trump over the weekend, I had a really smart friend tell me this weekend, if Trump was really in trouble, like if they really had something on him, don't you think that's all anybody would be talking about? And then they released, of course, on Friday that they have 11 files of, classified information or something like that. And there's no specifics on any of it. The nuclear threat thing obviously was a hoax. Now they're saying maybe they can get him under the Espionage Act because he had these in his possession and shouldn't have, it's Espionage Act. And Trump pointed out over the weekend, I had a standing order on all these documents. As president of the United States, anything that was classified that was at the White House, the business part of the White House, the West Wing, I had a standing order that if I took them to my residence, I could have it in my possession, that I was declassifying them. So he had a standing order to declassify, to take them out of the White House to his residence, which would have also included Mar-a-Lago. When he went to Mar-a-Lago for a week, if he took documents that were classified, they became declassified so they could be there. That was a standing order. This seems cut and dried. If these documents were in his possession, in his residence, while he was president, they are declassified. I can't see it any other way. I think he's right. Everybody I talked to this weekend is asking the question, did he set a trap for Merrick Garland, Christopher Wray, the Biden administration? And is that what all this is about? It's clearly going to be an open-ended investigation now. Trump came out on Truth Social and said, this is a sneak attack on democracy. He's using this to raise money and, look at them and how bad they are. And we got to clean this stuff up. The FBI is saying the investigation, they have 11 files out of 15 boxes of material. They have 11 things that could be a problem for Trump. 11 things. And they're saying this could take months. Oh, it'll take months, all right. They want to drag it into a possible candidacy for Trump and then try to, indict him so he can't run for president. We know what's going on here. But my smart friend said, if they really had something, wouldn't this be a bigger deal? Wouldn't it be out there? Wouldn't everybody be talking about it this weekend? The story just died over the weekend. It just went away. It'll drum back up this week a little bit, but it just died and went away. I mean, this felt like the biggest story of all time, and it may wind up being, because Trump may be able to use it to his advantage, but in a very short period of time, most Americans are like, really, that's it? They wanted to know that he had like a nuclear bomb controller or something in his house, and he just hit the red button and whoosh, he could shoot a bomb at somebody. That's what they wanted to know. Republicans everywhere, Jim Jordan and others, are calling for the affidavit to be released. That's what the judge looked at and said, okay, you can go raid his house. And now everybody wants to see the affidavit. Well, good luck. Not sure we're going to see that. It was a fishing expedition. They went in and got everything. And in 15 boxes of material, they found 11 files that could be a problem for Trump. That is not much, folks. 11 files for sure. Not much. Roberts Robinson Chevrolet Buick GMC is your go-to dealership for anything Chevrolet Buick or GMC. On the Patrons Post on Saturday, I did a link to Roberts Robinson's website and to GMC.com. You want to see the all-new GMC Canyon? It's going to blow your mind. This midsize truck is gorgeous. Do yourself a favor today. Go to GMC.com. It pops right up. They're not available yet, but you can order one now through Roberts Robinson. You can go ahead and get started. A Chevy Colorado, all-new Chevy Colorado, and GMC Canyon, either one, order it up just how you want it with Roberts Robinson, Chevrolet Buick GMC, online at robertsrobinson.com. Finch Knife Company, online at finchknifeco.com. Keep life from getting dull with a new Finch pocket knife. Treat yourself, guys. Get yourself one of these. You've heard me talking about these. Get yourself an awesome pocket knife. Even if you don't carry it every day, or you keep it in a drawer or something around the house, they're gorgeous. They're awesome. It's a Kansas City company. Get yourself a Finch pocket knife online at finchknifeco.com. And my buddy Hutch over at Amazing Garage Floors is the proud sponsor of Red, White, and Bluma in just a little over a month, September 24th in Stillwell, raising money for military charities in our area. They've raised over $250,000. It's a fun event. They have beer and music and laughter and fellowship. It's just a great event. Red, White, and Bluma.org. Amazing Garage Floors is your title sponsor of the event. Hutch is very involved in that and just loves it. Again, September 24th, Red, White, and Bluma.org. And we'll finish with a listener email here today. This is a good one, and it fits right along with what Red, White, and Bluma is as a military fundraiser. We had the gentleman on from Camo to College a couple months ago, earlier in the summer. Got tremendous feedback about that program, sending veterans to college after they're out of the military, getting them an education. That's camotocollege.com. Wonderful organization. And Jernigan Schwent sent me this email, and he says, "Hi, Kevin. I listened to your podcast a while back about Camo to College. I love that you're getting word out about veteran issues and suicide problems for your audience with veterans. I want to make you aware of my dad's organization, Camp Valor Outdoors. My dad retired after 23 years in the Marine Corps. After a few years working in positions in the marketplace, he heard about 22 veterans committing suicide a day. He chose to do something about it and started CVO. They work with the ill, the injured, and wounded vets and their families through adaptive and competitive outdoor activities, fishing, hunting, shooting, archery, etc. They've been in operation for roughly a decade and can tell several stories of vets that have backed away from suicide because of the impact CVO has had on their lives. There are now events ongoing in over 20 states. It's an awesome organization where 100% of every donation goes directly to the warriors they serve. The site is campvalorouttdoors.org. That's campvalorouttdoors.org. I'm not sure how often you're looking to promote veteran-based issues and organizations, but the next time you're looking for someone to speak to about those issues, I'd encourage you to contact my dad, John Schwent, and his organization. Major John Schwent Jr. is the CEO of Camp Valor Outdoors. It is an awesome organization. We did some things with this organization a few years ago when I was in radio and helped them promote some of the things they do. And it is, I don't mean to be sexist when I say these things, but it's manly pursuits. It's also womanly pursuits if you're a veteran. If you're a veteran, you've gone through training. There's a certain ruggedness to being in the military. These activities, again, archery, shooting, hunting, fishing, they're active, outdoor, competitive events, which is what your military service was. And so many people in their military service go, now what? I'm so used to doing a lot of these things, and now what? And they get veterans involved in these activities, and they compete against each other, and it really fills a hole in their lives when they don't have the adrenaline of being in the military. And they create that for them. Again, a wonderful organization, campvalorouttdoors.org. I would strongly encourage anyone to go there and donate. I've been making a big deal of don't donate to Republican political action committees unless you absolutely know who they are. Don't do it, because some Republican PACs are now putting money against Trump candidates in general elections, not primaries, in the general. You want to support a candidate that you like, support your candidate. I'd stay away from these PACs, because who knows if they're going to turn that money around and put it against somebody you want to win. Give your money to something like this. campvalorouttdoors.org. Make a donation today, and you'll feel good knowing that a veteran somewhere is going to be going to camp. They're going to be involved in all these competitions, and they have counselors, counseling. They help greatly with PTSD, all kinds of things that warriors have that folks like you and I don't have and won't have, because we just have not had their experiences. We have not walked in their shoes. Help if you can. I strongly encourage you, make a donation. campvalorouttdoors.org. Really cool stuff. And thank you, Jernigan. You have an awesome name, by the way. Jernigan Schwent. That's awesome. That's a great name. Jernigan Schwent. Thank you, Jernigan. Appreciate you listening to the podcast. Tell your dad, pass along the best. And we appreciate everything that you do with your organization, campvalorouttdoors.org. New week of KKHI is underway. Again, if you'd like to become a patron, we're going to be doing a lot of football content, gambling content, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be there included. If you want it, Go sign up. Go to kkasissues.com. In the upper right-hand corner, it says Become a Patron. You can get signed up, become a patron. It takes less than 5 minutes. You're on board. We'll be cranking out the patron podcasts as the week goes on, as the news breaks. We do patron podcasts late in the day typically. And Danny joins us every week. We're going to have Lee Sterling. He's going to give us an exclusive free Thursday night pick every Thursday. So we look forward to doing that. I do more football content there. You'll like it. If you'd like to become a patron, go to kkasissues.com. If not, thank you for listening to the free podcast and for hitting the like, follow, or subscribe button, and maybe finding a friend or two you think might like it. It's making a big difference, and we are so glad and honored to have you on board, and I can't thank you enough for listening to Kevin Kietzman Has Issues.
Thanks for listening to Kevin Kietzman Has Issues, presented by Roberts Robinson Chevrolet Buick GMC. To get exclusive patrons-only podcasts, receive a weekly newsletter, and attend in-person patrons-only parties, visit kkhasissues.com and become a patron today. This has been a production of Crooked Tail Media Incorporated.